Hey, yo, what's happening, people? It's your boy Griggs, and welcome back to Griggs Talks, where we talk all things sports. And welcome back to a little bit of a delayed match reaction. Obviously, the game happened yesterday between United and Spurs, but I was at work, so I wasn't able to react to it. So, better late than never. We've had about 22 hours to digest what happened yesterday, so it's going to be a little bit more calm than it would have been right after the match. Even though, to be honest, I wasn't that angry yesterday. It was just kind of funny. But yeah, Manchester United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 3, and another disaster at Old Trafford. The theater of dreams once again becomes the theater of nightmares, which has been a recurring nightmare for over 10 years now. It's just this long nightmare that's just looping and looping and looping. And from the title of the video, as you can tell, it's the end of the road. And Ineos need to act quick. So before we get into the game and all that kind of stuff, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Yeah, let's get into it. Yesterday, Manchester United were playing a 6-pointer, a must-win game after drawing at Crystal Palace last week when they should have gotten 3 points, drawing to FC 20 in the Europa League. All the pressure was on Manchester United yesterday to get a result, at the very least get a draw and perform well. But what we saw was arguably, somehow, some way, the worst performance under Erik ten Hag in a long list of terrible performances under Erik ten Hag. And that's what ended up happening. And anything that could have gone wrong yesterday went wrong. From conceding within the first 2 minutes to the red card by Bruno Fernandes to then pressing man-to-man when you're down to 10 men. Just anything. Kobe Mainoo getting injured. Mason Mount getting his skull cracked open by Dragusin. Just Ugarte's, I think it's his full Prem starting debut. Anything that could have gone wrong went wrong. But first, we have to obviously start, I think, let's start with the players instead of the manager, because the manager is going to be a little bit longer of a discussion, all that kind of stuff. The players. You could argue, honestly, that there wasn't a single good player yesterday. Obviously, when you have that kind of performance, there's not a player you can big up. From the first goal, players falling asleep, such as someone that I praised very heavily, Diogo Dalot, just falling asleep at the back post yesterday. For the first goal, Mazraoui made Timo Werner look good. The center back pairing, absolute garbage. It was similar to the game against Liverpool. That center back pairing clearly is not a good center back pairing. Leach and Delic. It just doesn't work. The midfield, Ugarte, I'm going to go on a little bit longer rant about him because I told you guys. And I warned people, and yeah, I got called negative and all that kind of stuff, which I don't really care about, but it is what it is. Who gives a shit? Bruno Fernandes, I'll also go into. Kobe Mainoo did okay, but obviously it wasn't the best performances, and he ended up getting injured. Something I also warned people about. I warned that he's going to get run into the ground. And when I went on the football terrace and I told for that United debate show, I said that Erik ten Hag is going to run Kobe Mainoo into the ground by making him play like N'Golo Kante. I had no disrespect to Neja. I'm going to call him out here, but he called me basically dumb. And he called me an idiot for saying that Kobe Mainoo shouldn't be playing like that and that it's his duty to play like that as a midfielder and do what the coach asked him. Well, he did what the coach asked him, and his reward for that is getting a hamstring injury. Congratulations, man. Now we're without our best midfielder. Sick, bro. Sick. But nah, yo, it's cool. Defend Erik ten Hag like he's your pops. It's cool, bro. It's cool. All's good and well. The attack. Again, he went with that same front three that he went against Liverpool, which is probably our worst attacking performance of the season. Well, guess what happened? Once again, our worst attacking performance of the season. And I'm not talking about like scoring goals and stuff like that. I'm talking about just in terms of chance creation. It was terrible once again. Alejandro Garnacho, whether you like him or not, I don't hate him. I don't love him. It's just like I think he's decent. He's not good enough to be a starter at Manchester United right now, especially on the right-hand side over someone like Amad Diallo, who when he plays is a constant threat in front of goal. And I'm not talking about just as a goal scorer. Just the team clicks better. It's called being the hub. It's called being the glue. Certain players, sometimes the output won't be there, but their threat is there. And Alejandro Garnacho, yes, he has goal-scoring threat. He could pop up in moments and stuff like that. That's cool and all. But the consistency of his threat is not there. And he showed this season he's best coming off the bench. So why not utilize him in that role? And Erik ten Hag yesterday said, basically saw that we were going to play Spurs' hotline. So he's like, to beat that, let me just go with pace. While football is a simple sport, sometimes it's also not just that simple, because that front three has proven that it's not the greatest in transition. And Amad Diallo even has scored in transition goal, aka his goal against Brighton, all that kind of stuff. Why not start your best front three? That front three that has clicked. Yes, the goals haven't come, but in terms of creating chances, it has shown that it can create chances. Why not go with that? Instead, go with the same front three going against Liverpool, and guess what? You got the same result you had against Liverpool, a 3-0 loss at Old Trafford. We played 2 Big Six games at Old Trafford this season, and the aggregate score is 6-0 to the opposition. And our goal difference as a result of that is -3. We still owe the league goals on September 30th, 2024. We've owed the league goals for about a good year and a half now. That is a very, very long time. Since we got smashed 7-0 at Anfield, we have been dead. We have been an atrocious club. And it's constantly happening. But let me go over the chat real quick before I continue into this monologue and stuff like that. Big up my boy with my big upgrades. Mid-table mediocrity, call a spade a spade. Hashtag Ten Hag in, hashtag midfield Basaka. Sahil says Ten Hag out. Tariq says Ten Hag out. Did you see Saeed yesterday? Big up to him spin facts. I did see the clip that came across my Twitter timeline. I'm not really going to get into the Goldbridge stuff. I don't really give a shit. I've sent my piece on Mark Goldbridge. I'm sure he's a good person and all, but I don't respect his content and I don't respect that all that kind of stuff. I really don't care. It was obvious he's getting paid by SCG agency, bro. The guy will continually spit about players he don't like, but again, for players he likes, he'll defend them like they're his son. It's cool, bro. It is what it is. You do you. He's famous, all that kind of stuff. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna be real. Big up to Tariq as well. Kobe Nash, as you said before, we signed him. Ugarte isn't good. I'll talk about Ugarte, man, because you know what? My eyes don't lie to me. There was a point where Ugarte was at Sporting, and I'm like, well, he's a solid little player. He looks good. I would take him at United at that point, but I thought maybe we look a little bit better. But then I watched him at PSG with a little bit more pressure, and then I saw him be a fish out of water at PSG. So imagine he's a fish out of water at PSG. Imagine at Manchester United, where it's even more, because once upon a time it was more toxic at PSG than Manchester United because of the Neymar, Mbappe, the pressure to win the Champions League. But obviously Mbappe's gone now, Neymar's gone now, so the culture is a little bit different now. But he did not thrive there, and I've seen other players thrive, like the João Neves, who we basically gave to PSG for Manuel Ugarte, Vitinha, even the Fabian Ruiz, Zaire Emery, all that kind of stuff. Kodak Goldfish as well. Big up Saeed. Saeed's my bro and all that kind of stuff. And Chills with Samba. I saw Faz's clip as well, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, man, I'm Saeed has the right to call out whoever he wants and stuff like that. He's a fan at the end of the day. He's the one that ends up going to the games. Garnacho's mid. The kid needs his own celebration enough for the CR7. Goldfish is paid by SCG agency. Imagine you're having your 2 worst performances in your 3rd season. People still backing you. You don't hear, you must feel. We're finished under Ten Hag rule. Big up Staffy. People trying to press reasonable fans to like a big man in a football argument. Neji can go into his coaching badges for all that care. Honestly, I saw the Staffy clip from this morning as well. I don't remember. I don't know if that clip is from like this past weekend or something, but I think it's from the summer. And yeah, Staffy's out to my boy. We all know that kind of stuff. And yeah, when I argue with Neji, I basically just let him argue because I don't like doing unfaithful debates. I don't like debating with people that aren't going to debate properly because at the end of the point, it's like you're talking to a wall. And I don't like talking to a wall. Do you guys like talking to a wall? I don't. We don't sit in front of our desk and just talk to the wall and be like, yo, but no response is coming back. That's basically what it feels like. Spurs actually had the most XG in an away performance since Manchester City against Norwich, I think in 2022. And we all know how terrible that Norwich team was, which shows how bad we are. And that's the level we're at right now under Erik Ten Hag. But yeah, back to the game, back to the performances, the attack, all that kind of stuff. Ozan Garnacho. Xerxes. Look, I love Joshua Xerxes. I love the way he plays. I love him as a footballer. But at some point, you also have to be critical of players you enjoy. And in front of goal, he should have more than 1 Premier League goal. And it's inexcusable for him to only have 1 Premier League goal because he should be getting on the end of some shit. Every single time he's in the box, I do see him like sliding like it's a splish splash ride. He needs to get on the he needs to get a little bit more in terms of his positioning and his awareness to get the goal. Yeah, I expect better at the end of the day. I'm not saying he's terrible or anything, but it is a little bit underperforming in that aspect of the game. Marcus Rashford. I mean, I spent the last week defending Marcus Rashford. And then yesterday, again, lack of confidence. Pedro Porro is not some world-class defender in terms of actually defending. He's great attacking and going forward, all that kind of stuff. But defending-wise, he's not like he's Wan-Bissaka or Cafu or anything like that. You can get the better of him. Just last year, Marcus Rashford cooked him to pieces at Old Trafford. And there were a couple moments yesterday when the game was still within reach and stuff like that. Was when it was before the Bruno red card, where Marcus Rashford had him one-on-one. And the first time he did a pass to Xerxes that just a first-time pass that was terrible. And then there were other times where he just dribbled it too far. Bro, you can cook him. I know you can cook him. So why not cook him? Again, it's stuff like that sometimes frustrates me on Marcus Rashford. As much as I love the player, it's the thing about football is a game of the smallest amount of details. The smallest detail can change everything. And there's small details like that about Marcus Rashford that frustrate you about him. Because the bigger picture about Marcus Rashford can be good. But sometimes it's a smaller picture. The small details that he fumbles that cost United certain opportunities and stuff like that. And that's what frustrates me about him. But back to the midfield. Let's start with Ugarte. Look, I've seen some bad midfielders at Manchester United. This one might be the worst. I don't understand what he's good at other than pressing. And I'm sorry. If my midfielder's best attribute is pressing, and if he's meant to be my destroyer, it's cooked. It's cooked. It's cooked. It's cooked. It's cooked. It's cooked. No, not good on the ball. Was chasing his own shadow yesterday. Madison was running past him like he's nothing. Brother is clipped. I could have seen it. We all saw it. The only people that didn't see it, unfortunately, is Ineos because they got in bed with George Mendes. And I beg you, the first step that Ineos have to do today, other than somehow sacking Eric Ten Hag while we're doing this, is blocking George Mendes of all phone contacts and telling Manchester Airport, or even if there is an airport in Manchester, whatever the closest airport is, to block all flights that contain George Mendes into Manchester. Never let him in the city again. Because I promise you, signing Lenny Yoro was probably not worth signing Manuel Ugarte, because we just paid 60 mil for one of the worst midfielders I've ever seen. And honestly, comparing him to Gallagher is a disrespect to Conor Gallagher, because I've seen what Conor Gallagher is doing at Atletico. Yes, he's not the greatest in midfielders. He's not the prettiest on the eye, but the guy's effective. Manuel Ugarte is the opposite of effective, because there's nothing effective about him. He can't win the ball back. He gets into a lot of duels. Well, the duels ain't with dueling. And I said this when we were arguing about this on Saturday, when we do the original Ugarte argument. I said, are we sure he's better than Casemiro? Are we sure? Because I'm not sure he's better than Casemiro. I'm going to be real. Because as much as I've hated Casemiro in 2024 and all that kind of stuff, one thing Casemiro is better than him on is passing range. And I still trust Casemiro in terms of winning the ball back because he has experience. And there's a level of respect there. As much as I've criticized him, at the end of the day, I've always said Casemiro is still one of the best defensive midfielders to ever exist. So that holds some weight. Manuel Ugarte does not have that resume. He does not have that credibility. So therefore, what is he doing for me? Absolute zilch. So yeah, that it was just a terrible performance. And on the ball, he's terrible. Off the ball, he's terrible. So what is he good for? And from the moment we didn't sign Amadou Onana this summer, it was cooked. And obviously, a couple of my mutuals were tweeting about this morning about the athleticism. And some people said, oh, the issue with this club is not athleticism, it's coaching and stuff like that. Once again, United fans especially don't understand this concept of two things can be right at once. Yes, our structure is absolutely woeful off the ball. That is on the coach. But there's also a level of athleticism that is not in that midfield and that United have not addressed over the past couple summers when they really, really needed to. Because if you look at United's midfield signings over the past couple years, you have Amrabat, who's not athletic. You have Mason Mount, who's athletic, but also not a deep midfielder, so it negates itself. Obviously, you had Christian Eriksen the summer before. You had Casemiro the summer before. This summer, you have Manuel Ugarte. And yes, you could say you have Kone, the kid from Mali, but we'll see what he is. Obviously, he's still a kid. We don't know what he is yet. All that. Not one single athlete And you can argue the only athletes we have signed in the past 2 to 3 years is Rasmus Højlund up top, who we'll get into as well. And then we have Lenny Yoro at center back, who we have not seen yet, obviously, because he's been injured. I said this yesterday, but we need to give it up with South America. There is a lot of talent in South America. We clearly cannot find it. Or maybe our scouts can find it, but the club won't agree with them on it. It's clip. It's clip. It's clip. We got to give it up to the country. Because Lisandro Martinez as well, I told people this. I said, whoever the next coach is, because we will have a coach by the end of next season. By the end of the season, we will have a new coach. We will. There is a high likelihood that the next coach will not want to play Lisandro Martinez at center back. And there's a reason why United signed Lenny Yoro, and there's a reason why United wanted to sign Jared Branthwaite. Because that is a center back pairing. That is a legit center back pairing. And you see what I talk about athleticism? That is an athletic center back pairing. That is what you do. And this is the issue again with the athleticism. It's fine if you have an unathletic midfield. If at the back, at center back, you have a crazy, uber athletic center back pairing. We don't have that. Because when you get past our midfield, you come face to face with Lisandro Martinez, who's not athletic enough, and you have Matthias de Ligt, who is so-and-so. Therefore, what is the athleticism meant to be? It's not there. It's non-existent. Even Mazraoui, not the great athleticism. That was probably our best athlete right now. That's it. It's not looking good, bro. So, yeah, United needs to address that ASAP as soon as possible. And whether that's going to the academy, and I said Dan Gore, we'll see what Jason Sarah looks like. We'll see what Sekou Kone looks like in the market as well. And we also said this about, I've always said, this is where last winter, when we were talking about Ineos and their plan in terms of going English and stuff like that, I was very positive for it. Whether you want to say English bias, Premier League bias, yada, 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 there is a level of experience and there's a level of familiarity with the league that signing an English player won. And it's not like we were asking Ineos to sign Lewis Dunks and stuff like that. We was asking for good young Premiership players, like a Jared Branthwaite, by the way, who you saw how everything looked when he came back this past Saturday. Young English, but has also played in the league, so he knows what it's about. That's the timing. Another example, Anthony Gordon on the left-hand side. Perfect upgrade on Rashford. Dom Solanke, who I asked for a striker, dunked on us yesterday. When I said in the summer, we paid 15 mil more for Højlund, who's a worse striker than Dom Solanke. United fans got on my case. Well, one's in bed with the United fans, the other one's scoring on us. Who would you rather have? It's stuff like that. Even Ivan Toney, for example, who I didn't really want, but can maybe fit the mold and stuff like that. Those kind of players. Michael Olise, who's not English, but could technically claim England and stuff like that. But you know what I'm trying to say. United need more Premier League proven players. And this summer, one thing I think they lacked in was going for that. They went a little bit too international. And I didn't like that at the end of the day. I like the window, be it Endo, but especially midfield, Amadou Onana, Everton, stuff like that. It doesn't even have to be an English player. Just get Prem proven. They can be Belgian, they can be French, they can be Australian, they can be from New Zealand. I don't care where they are. But get Prem proven. And yes, people could hit back at me and say, oh, Mason Mount and stuff like that. Yes, that's fine. But the thing with Mason Mount was, if Mason Mount came on a free, which was he was meant to and he should have been, no one would be talking about Mason Mount. It's the fact that United overpaid for him. I'm not asking United to overpay for a guy that's 1 year left on his contract, because there's plenty of players that are English that you can go get that are not 1 year left on their contract from a Big Six club. There's so much quality in the lower half of the table that United can go and get for maybe not a cheap price, but a reasonable price that will reflect on how they improve as they go up a level. Because even Anthony Alanga, who we kicked out and stuff like that, and it is what it is. But United should have gotten more money for him, because look at what he's doing for Nottingham Forest. That's the issue with United. The recruitment is all wrong, and it's about prioritizing the right pieces for recruitment that United have not figured out yet. And I'm really hoping next summer they will figure it out, because they have to. Because next summer, every summer gets more crucial and more crucial and more crucial. Next summer, you're likely to have a new coach. you're gonna have to recruit properly. You're gonna have a coach that might want to kick out half the squad anyway. We'll see what happens, but yeah, it's Ineos are gonna have a lot of work to do, man. And I'm not gonna lie, this is why that's why I said this summer when I said about the decision about keeping Eric Ten Hag. I said the pressure now falls on Ineos because you had a big decision to make, and they fumbled it at the end of the day. So it's an automatic fumble. And second of all, by keeping him, yes, you can paint a picture of it's a new regime and all that kind of stuff, and we can act like it's his first season under a proper structure and give him that kind of freedom and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you can erase that kind of part, but you can't erase what happened in the past 2 seasons, especially what happened, especially last season, from the fans' minds. It's not Men in Black, and you have that remote control that Will Smith has, and you can just flash it in front of people's eyes and they forget. That's how life works. And for a large proportion of this fan base, especially more the online ones, we remember what we saw last year, and it's not going away. And you could even argue this year, it could even get worse than last year. And that's a scary, scary path to go down. And right now, Ineos, unless they don't, I said this, they have the international break. I understand if they don't want to sack him within the next 2 window in the next week before Porto and Villa, that's fine. But if he loses both, which is a high possibility, and forget about Porto game. I don't give a shit about the Porto game. Aston Villa specifically, because if we lose at Aston Villa, there is a strong case that we will be 15th in the Premier League table. That is 3 spots off relegation. Beating Porto at the Dragao does not excuse being 15th in the Premier League. The same way beating Manchester City in a cup final does not excuse finishing 8th place in the Premier League with a negative goal difference. It does not excuse that. And I don't understand. And and this is why I critique the fans that signed that petition letter. Bro, grow up. Writing a letter because they're thinking about sacking a manager because he finished 8th place. Of course they're gonna think about sacking him. Because if these fans, by the way, that talk about standards, what standard are you holding yourself to if you want to keep a guy that finished 8th place because he beat a drunk Manchester City at an FA Cup final? Yes, it was a nice day out at Wembley, all that kind of stuff. But was it worth it? You know how they asked Thanos at the end of Infinity War when Gamora asked him after he snapped the fingers and half of the world got killed or something like that. Was it worth it? Well, now we asked the question to Ineos, and we asked the question to those fans that signed that petition. Was it worth it? Was it worth it to keep him? Because a month and a half later, we sit 13th in the Premier League. We drew to FC Twente in the Europa League. Was it worth it? We look worse than ever before. Our captain is now suspended for the next 3 matches. Our golden child is now injured. Was it worth it? That's all I have to ask them. Because these are the guys that walk 5 minutes to Old Trafford, and they have to see this live and direct. They're the ones that paid the 50 quid to go watch the game. Was it worth it? Because now you're spending 50 quid that can get you food for the week. Instead, you're paying it to watch Eric Ten Hag be a terrible coach. Yeah, man. Anyone else I need to talk about? Oh, Bruno Fernandes. Was it a red card? No, that's never a red card. It's a disgrace that that's a red card. But the reason why that's not talked about was because it doesn't matter whether it was a red card or not. Because the bigger picture, again, is Bruno Fernandes, for however long he played, what was it, 35 minutes, was atrocious. Again, that's 7 games into the season. He's been horrific. You're the captain. You're the one that's meant to, we talk about the standard and stuff like that. On the pitch, you're the one that's meant to set the standard for the club. On the pitch. And right now the standard is on the floor. Because our captain's performance is on the floor. Therefore, as a reflection of that, our performance as a football club are on the floor. That is what's going on right now. It is on the floor. Yesterday, I promise you, for the first time, I texted this in the American Waffle group chat as well. I said for the first, because you guys know me last year. One thing I never said was that the players gave up on Eric Ten Hag. I said, yo, we're shit, but we're fighting for him. The players are still fighting for him. Yesterday, those guys were not fighting for him. Yesterday, you saw a group of players that were defeated. You saw a group of players that had no idea how to play with each other because the amount of misplaced passes because of a lack of relationship between players on the pitch. They don't know where to be. You saw that yesterday. And a mitigating factor of that is because I talked about Eric Ten Hag's tactics and I said we rotate too much in possession. That's all over the place. And Staffy did this on the terrace as well. Being robotic in football is annoying. I never said I want robotic football either. That's why I said why I didn't want the Zerbi, as well as we're seeing what happened. We're seeing what kind of squad building is going on at Marseille. But I also said the Zerbi is too robotic. But there needs to be a level of repetition within a club, within a system that United don't have because we're too fluid. You can be too fluid. Fluidity in football is good, but you can also be too fluid. It's something that Grant Potter also struggled with at Brighton and probably struggled with at Chelsea as well. You can be too fluid. And United are too fluid. And we're trying to play out the back with these little fancy little tippy-tappy passes. Bro, sometimes just put it long. And it's details. United suck at details. We're the worst team on focusing on details. We're terrible. Which shows to me that maybe this club need a teacher. They need someone with a ruler, with a whiteboard, and just smack the ruler on the whiteboard and be like, details. Who's going to be that guy? Do I got to do it? I don't have my badges, but I'll do it. Just join. What's the topic of conversation? Honestly, right now we're all over the place. We're just ranting about yesterday, and I think I'm keeping a cool level headed. But it's been a disgrace, man. It's a disgrace. Should let him walk instead of a pay rate, bro. We should have taken any bid for him this summer. The league title of 2028, yeah, but I guess. Yaha Vision 2028. If United want to have Vision 2028, they're gonna have to get the sacking. Yeah, we just venting, bro. This is just a venting platform. Can you guys handle pragmatism before fluid football? I can handle pragmatism. I have no issue with pragmatism. I'm Greek. I basically invented pragmatism. I didn't, but still. There's nothing wrong with pragmatism because pragmatism, people need to understand this pragmatism. There's sometimes nothing, if depending on the squad you have, there's nothing wrong with playing in a mid block and just keeping it steady and taking your moments. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, of course, you're going to play Bruno versus Porto. There's no question in my mind he's playing Bruno versus Porto. Well, I'll save let's just save your question for the interim talk and stuff like that. Cause that's a whole nother debate. And that'll be the last topic of discussion before we wrap up. So yeah, I can handle pragmatism. I have no issue handling pragmatism. Now, see, Mourinho's a different level of pragmatism. And the other issue with Mourinho was that he took no responsibility for his actions. And it's something that Mourinho constantly takes. For me, Mourinho is too pragmatic. Like, for example, a coach that we're going to talk about, Simone Inzaghi. People call his football pragmatic, defensive. Yeah, his team scored a bunch of goals. Atletico Madrid is, I think, the best example. Diego Simeone is known for being pragmatic and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, his team scored goals, and they create a boatload of chances. I have no issue with that. Sir Alex, who is probably the reason why we all support this football club, was pragmatic at times. He had no issue being pragmatic, and it worked. The thing about pragmatism is, in the eyes of fans, it needs to garner results. If you get results and you're pragmatic, it works. Tuchel, another one, has garnered this reputation of pragmatic. But actually, if you look at underlying statistics, last year in the Bundesliga, Bayern were levels ahead of the Leverkusen attacking-wise. They underperformed all their metrics. And as a result, and due to Leverkusen black magic, they didn't win the league. It happens. But yeah, pragmatism is, I'm fine with pragmatism. There's nothing wrong with that. At the heart of United were a pragmatic team, but at home, I think the difference is at home. away from home, I have no problem being pragmatic. It's the home games, right? And it's the issue with that's why I would say people say the pressure of United is stronger than everything else, and it's part of it is the home games, bro. Playing in front of Old Trafford crowd must be hell. I'm not joking because every action needs to be positive. Every single action needs to be a positive action. If you pass back, you hear 60,000 groan, and you'll shoot for an opportunity where you don't have to shoot, and it's probably a bad decision. It's stuff like that United that it's. Part of it is because we've been so bad for 10 years that fans just want to see something exciting, which I don't blame them for. But it's such a tricky window to navigate for United. But yeah, I'm fine with pragmatism. Mourinho was something else, man. I reckon anything's not into it. Yeah. I think we pretty much talk about every player, right? Bruno horrific, Ugarte horrific. Center back pairing, Alessandro Martinez, Jared Braithwaite. Please, the sooner you come, the better. Lenny Yoro, the sooner you. But there's a part of me that honestly I don't. And this also applies to Kobe Manu. The next time I see Kobe Manu, and the next time I see Lenny Yoro, it better be under a new gaffer because I don't want to see those guys play under this coach any for a single second more. I really don't. I'm not a United fan, but you guys are trying to go too far from your identity. Everybody wants to play triangle, square, build up. There's other ways to play. I think United, yeah, when I think of United, I think solid defensively, fast wingers, and put the ball in the box. One thing that United have lost recipes of is good crossing. On my left, we haven't had good crossing since Antonio Valencia. That's the last time we had good crossing. And he was just blasted in the box, and Rain just got the end of it. We don't put enough bodies in the box. We don't put the ball in the box enough. So this year, it feels like we're trying to pass the ball into the net like we're FIFA, like it's FIFA 17. I beg, give it up, bro. Put the goddamn ball in the box and good things happen. And United have lost recipes of that. Because this is the club that had Ryan Giggs and David Beckham blasting the ball into the box. Wayne Rooney, Gary Neville, Patrice Evra, all that kind of stuff. We don't have that anymore. Instead, we have Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes shooting from 30 yards out, and what does it do? Everyone wants to be an inverted winger and no weak foot. Only Messi. Well, it's clever. But yeah, I think that's pretty much on the players. I pretty much talked about the coach, and we're going to tie it on with who should be the next coach at Manchester United. I don't know who it should be. I'm going to be real. I don't even know what the options are. And this is why I said the worst thing about keeping him was that it's pretty much the likelihood scenario that this is going to flop and you basically wasted a whole summer and you're limiting your choices in the window in terms of who to get as a manager. Because now, you want to say Simone Inzaghi, let's be real. The guy's priority right now is to focus on winning Serie A and potentially winning a Champions League for Inter Milan. That's his priority right now. His priority is not gonna switch to come in and save Manchester United. Julian Nagelsmann is not leaving before the World Cup. That's already negated. All that kind of stuff. Thomas Tuchel rejected you. Can you convince him this time? You're a little bit more desperate, so you might have to. Kieran McKenna, I don't think he's going to leave Ipswich. Graham Potter, probably your most realistic bet. I think he'll take the opportunity, but it's risky. It's really, really risky. Who else you got? You obviously have Rude as an interim option. And to answer Nessie's question about Rude, I'm not going to lie, because it's so early into the season, I'd be a little disappointed at Rude interim till the end of the season. I still would expect them to find someone that's really, really not a household name, but a well-respected enough name to coach us. I don't want to. If it was like January, I'd say, yeah, Colin, give it a Rude to the end of the season. But it's still early on. You can still get a coach in that can help not save the season. Because honestly, I think top four is done. I don't think United are good enough to get top four. I'm going to be real. Even with the right coach, I think we're too far off. But you can get a good coach in that solidifies the team, introduces a good game plan that can also win the Europa League. And therefore, you get into Champions League, you have the money for next time, all that kind of stuff. I think it's still early enough to savage that. I don't think Ruud is the answer for that. And I don't know, honestly, Ruud can come in and be a game changer, all that kind of stuff. That's fair enough. I don't think he's that. So we'll see. Ruben Amorim, nah, I'm gonna be real. I get Ten Hag PTSD with him. First of all, I heard he plays a 3-1-6. I don't want to see that shit. I don't. Is he a better coach than Eric Ten Hag? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm a little worried. Well, we'll see though. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but another thing is, will United fans accept the 3 at the back? I said we fit a 3 at the back. I'm gonna be real. This team absolutely fits a 3 at the back. Will United fans accept it? I like the Stuttgart manager. I absolutely love the Stuttgart manager. But will United fans accept the Bundesliga manager right now? Again, it's the reputation versus what they can be. Because I'm gonna be real, Eric Ten Hag has probably killed a lot of people's optimism for project managers because he was meant to be that guy. He was meant to be the first manager that we hired that's meant to be the project manager and take us to the next step. It didn't happen. So now people are gonna be like, yo, Stuttgart manager, what if he's another Eric Ten Hag? All that kind of stuff. Even though taking Stuttgart to the Champions League is a hell of a feat. And he's doing a hell of a job. I wouldn't be opposed to him. And right now, I'm gonna be real. There's not a manager that I'm really, really opposed to that I'd be like, yo, what's going on here? Why are we hiring him? Because the fact is, whether obviously Ineos I'm not the biggest fan of Ineos right now, but at the end of the day, you do have a collective group of people at the top that want to back a manager and will give him every possible resource that he needs because they're doing that with Ten Hag right now and he's shit. So stuff like that. So I wouldn't just give me a manager that you just find a manager that you think fits what you want to build for the club. That is synonymous and that is in tune with what you want to build. And we'll go with it, man. We'll back it. And if he sucks, you don't hesitate to pull the trigger and you go get the next one. There will always be managers available that will want to coach Manchester United. At the end of the day, the name still holds weight. Maybe it won't be enough to go get your Thomas Tuchel's, your Zinedine Zidane's and stuff like that. But there's plenty of managers that want to build a reputation that will come to United with no hesitation. So I have no issue going for the no name as long as you think that he is him. If you think that and you can get that, go get him, bro. Because at the end of the day, if you go get a coach, and as long as you get that coach right, and then you do your best to go get the quality that he needs, then quality will always shine. Quality will always be supreme. Look at Bayern. They hired the Vincent companies, but what did they go do in the summer? They went and got Michael Olise, who's one of the 5 best right wingers in football. And look at what he's doing. Pellegrini doesn't play for them, so it doesn't really matter. But what's the Bayern sign in the summer? Why do I think Bayern had acquired that summer now? Okay. Oh, they got some random Japanese guy from Stuttgart. But yeah, anyway, quality will always shine through, stuff like that. We'll see. For me, honestly, I look at Kieran McKenna and I see what he's doing at Ipswich. Bro, and this is why yesterday, I was having this argument as well. People talk about United squad being asked and stuff like that. Yes, United squad is not at the level of an Arsenal. It's not at the level of a City. It's not at the level of a Liverpool. Hell, it's not even at the level of Aston Villa right now. But I'll take Ipswich, for example. You look at Ipswich, right? Every game this season, bar Manchester City away, which I'll excuse them for because Manchester City, they've given every single team they've played in this season a hell of a game. And this is a squad filled of young players that are championship talent. Look at Liam Delap, right? The goal that he scored yesterday. The only reason y'all know Liam Delap is because he was in the City Academy. Y'all have not kept track of his career. Leave Davis, Omari Hutchinson, Jack Clark, who hooped yesterday. Shout out Jack Clark, Sunderland legend. You have players like that, and they're giving every single team a run for their money. Liverpool, they held Liverpool Football Club to 0 shots on target for 60 minutes before, of course, Liverpool's clash shined through. Aston Villa, they gave him a hell of a game yesterday, 2-2. Why? Good coaching. Because good coaching takes you very, very far. At the end of the day, the good coaching can only take you so far, and then obviously it's talent. The two can go in hand. I promise. Yo, when do we play Ipswich? Yo, if Ipswich are winless by the time we play them, I promise you we're their first win. I guarantee you. McKenna, Raul, another one. Amazing pressing structure. Nagelsmann, even bro. There's so many. Bro, I'm not even lying. I generally think Erik ten Hag is the worst coach I've ever seen in my life. I'm not even joking. At the big club level, he's the worst coach I've ever seen at the big club level. He is so out of his depth. It's not even funny. Ridiculously out of his depth. It's horrific. Xavi didn't play tiki taka. The areas that's not been broken. Absolutely, I do think tiki taka is dying. There's a level of pragmatism in the sport now that is increasing, and you're seeing it with Arteta. You're seeing it even with Pep. You saw it with Xavi. I agree with you, social joints. McKenna would absolutely figure out out of possession instruction and intent. Yeah, bro. Out of possession is our biggest issue right now. So stick to the plan, eh? And the fact that this guy yesterday wanted to use Bruno Fernandes's red card as an excuse. What a joke of a manager, bro. What a joke of a manager. Good. I hope it does die. Tired of that shit, bro. Yeah, how many likes are we at, by the way, chat? JJ. Can you let me know, JJ? They don't know. Yeah. Yo, honestly, I think Nagelsmann would be United manager if he wasn't manager of Germany right now. I just think he wants to coach. He wants to coach the World Cup, bro. It's a manager's dream. It's not bad. It's a manager's dream to coach lead the nation after the World Cup, especially someone like Julian Nagelsmann, who will probably back himself to go far in the World Cup and try to win it because he'll be one of the best coaches. And let's be real, they gave Spain their toughest test, and Germany are a good team. So yeah. Problem with McKenna is he doesn't have aura and will probably end up being a yes man considering his past association. Well, guess what? Other than Pep Guardiola right now, name me a coach that's not a yes man. There's not many. Every coach is a yes man. You know, your Fergies, your Peps, your Carlos. Pep and Carlo are the only two left from that era. Jurgen Klopp is gone as well. So it ain't many. Hansi Flick, maybe you could say, and stuff like that. But even Hansi Flick, you're seeing him play 8 La Masia kids, bro. Potter got a lot of credit in the bank for me, but it's like I understand what people say in terms of aura. You do need to have a certain level of presence as a Manchester United manager because it is one of the toughest jobs and stuff like that. And there was another one. You can count them on one hand, pretty much. Is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, the thing about it's not the aura thing. It's about how you speak. Because like Arne's slot, you look at Arne's slot, right? You don't think aura, but you see the way he speaks in press conferences. It's more like that. I think charisma is a stronger word than aura. It's the charisma. It's how you speak, how you address. It's how you bring confidence into your not just your players but your fan base. Will they believe what you say? That's more. It's not the aura. It's not how you look and stuff like that. It's about the charisma. And I like that word better, JJ. Charisma. Charisma takes you far in life, not just football, wrestling, for example, all that kind of stuff. It's how you sell yourself. And Erik ten Hag does not sell himself well. He did a little bit early on, but after that, it died down. World Cup hype, my boy, yeah, Mo, obviously. Spain are the favorites, but Germany will be one of the favorites. So yeah, it's charisma. So we'll see what it is. Hopefully the decision is made sooner rather than later. And yeah, man, Manchester United, it's not looking good. I tried being positive in the summer. It backfired on me. Is what it is. I'm not gonna. I mean, people want to say hold on, like that's calm and everything, but I try to be positive about my club. I'll never regret that. It is what it is. It backfired on me, and now we're basically back. Yeah, bro. Twitter, or now is like how you look. Like Calafury, for example, the wavy Italian hair, all that kind of stuff. That's aura now, apparently. But now charisma for me is a stronger word. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, Manchester are in a tough spot right now. We're in a terrible place. I like to say rock bottom, but I'm not going to underestimate the manager to create even further rock bottom. So we'll see. But I'm not going to lie, bro. if United keep Eric Ten Hag the whole season, I'm not gonna say we're gonna get relegated, but bro, I'm thinking like Chelsea 2022 type shit. I'm gonna be real. And at least for them, they had the excuse of having a whole like being basically withheld from their funds for like 6 months a season before. That was always meant to be a crazy season. We don't have that excuse. And at that point, that's when you blame the coach. And also the ownership group. That's why Ineos, bro. You did some good stuff this summer, the Lenny Ordo, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, this is not Nice Football Club. No disrespect to Nice. This is Manchester United. And I've heard them sack managers with ease at Nice. If you could do that at a smaller football club where no one really cares, yes, sacking a manager at Manchester United Football Club will cause more noise around the media and stuff like that. But when it's warranted, you need to pull the trigger because there's a certain level of standard that is meant to be held here. And yes, that standard has severely decreased over the past 10 years and it's hanging on by a life thread. But even if the standard is not to win the Premier League, at the very least, the standard should be to make Europe. And at this point, right now, last year, Manchester United should have not made Europe. And this season, they sure as hell do not deserve to make Europe. Because the team that we saw on Wednesday playing the Europa League, did that look like a Europa League team? Because the team that's representing England in the Conference League is levels ahead of us. So what are we? That's why I tell them, bro, it's time to make a decision. Tick tock, tick tock. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. Not much else to talk about. Oh God, it's so stressful supporting this football club, man. Yo, thank God basketball is back in 3 weeks, bro. Thank God. And you know what? United are so shit that I wasn't even able to focus on that. You have to remember Chelsea basically took Brian's staff. The thing is, though, Chelsea didn't have any of that in the backroom staff. United's backroom staff, in terms of the data and all that kind of stuff, is good. I rate our scouting team. That's the thing. United have the foundation to succeed. It's just about how aggressive they are with it. And Sir Jim promised me in January that to succeed, they have to be ruthless. Well, bro, ruthless is not sacking Mary at the receptionist table. That's not ruthless. Ruthless is what you do. Footballing matters. That's ruthless. And if you want to be ruthless, you sack. What if the camera bugging out? You sack this guy within the next 7 days. That's ruthless. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, we're mentioning that, but we're going to talk about hell agents. It is what it is. So yeah, I was going to think, who should I redirect to? That's not it. There we go. No, I want to see how it look without Bruno for 2 games. I'm excited for that. I'm genuinely excited for that. I want to see how it look like without Bruno for 3 days. 3 games. I'll be excited. Yo, if we win, I promise you, if we win our next 3 games without Bruno Fernandes, I want him on the transfer list immediately. I promise you, I want him on the transfer list immediately. But it's not gonna mean I'm on number 10 though. It's gonna mean Mason Mount number 10. You're gonna see. Oh no, Manu though. Mount, Erickson, Ugarte. Bro, that is horrible. That is terrible, man. Oh yeah, bro. That is terrible. Bro, for a club that has so many, I said this last video as well, for a club that has so many good midfielders in the academy that know how to find them so easily, how does this team not know how to sign first-team midfielders, bro? It cannot be that complicated. Oh, my God, man. Now, it's time to go before I get even more depressed. Bro. I bet this talking about this club depresses me, man. Yeah. Oh, fuck me, man. Bro, I don't care if we lose. I really don't, man. I'm not gonna sell it. I'm not gonna like say I want to lose, but honestly, just lay down, man. Just lay down. Pause. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We hit about like 50 live at some point. As Colin, get yourself like at 21 likes, about half, and it could be a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie, but it's what it is. And yeah, when will I be back? I'll be back Wednesday probably. That's my next day off, and then I'll be back Friday as well for the Porto reaction. 23, yeah, pretty much. I'll be back Friday as well. That's my days off this week. So yeah, I'll catch you guys then. Appreciate you and send out prayers that Eric Ten Hag gets sacked soon. Just send prayers. Go to church. If you go to church, light a candle or something and just pray that he gets sacked soon enough. Yeah, that's it, guys. Yeah, bro, I'm gonna go watch playoff baseball. That's what I'm gonna do. But enjoy, guys. Peace. Appreciate the love. Love you guys. Also, this will be taking you to rants as well. So just hit them up in the comments. Be like, good, great. Peace.